What is Draconic Wicca? I'm going to do my best to talk as loud as I can again while we're still waiting for that microphone because it's super windy today, so I know. We're just going to deep dive and redo this video. I've done this video a few times on my channel. Literally, I have multiple videos with this title, but I wanted to really give you guys like a fresh perspective from the eyes of somebody who is an adult now, like a grown adult in this practice, and just from, you know, my perspective as the Draconic Priestess now. So what is Draconic Wicca? Well, first of all, let's look at the etymology of the language. Draconic and Wicca. Let's start with Draconic. Draconic is a word that stems from the root word Draco or Dracon from Latin and Old English. And in some ways, like a drac and like draj, there's like these little mini versions of it that exist throughout all different cultures. Some of them mean like to see or to like see clearly, right? Or some of them just mean like a giant serpent or like lizard or giant like reptile, right? So that's kind of what Draconic means. But Wicca or Wicca is how it's originally pronounced, W-I-C-C-A, is a Old English word, Old Anglo-Saxon word that is pronounced Wicca, which means a male sorcerer or someone who bends reality. And the female version is Wicca or W-I-C-C-E. And this is the root word for the modern day word witch. So when I first started practicing Draconic Wicca as a child, and like all my like viral Draconic Wicca videos on this channel, I was following the tradition of Gerald Gardner and adding dragons into it. And I was initiated into like a Gardnerian type of Wicca in like the Castle at the Crossroads. I made like a live stream about it one time. There's like a girl who like runs that community there. She did like an initiation for me. It was informal, but still it was an initiation, and I learned a lot, and I learned how to perform certain rites and stuff. And that is kind of my formal training when it comes to Wicca. But like now in my practice today, I completely reject that training. We are reclaiming the word Wicca, okay, for its original root word, meaning to bend will, to shape shift, to change reality. That is the word we are focusing on in today's episode of What is Draconic Wicca, okay? So after this, we really have to just accept that the Gardnerian version of Wicca, the religion, is 110% culturally appropriated. It's racist. There's a lot of like weird sexual things in it too. There's some like argue that it's like a pedophilic type of religion as well. And this is why like we just like need to like get that out of the way right now. We are in no way, shape, or form on this channel affiliated with Gerald Gardner and his religion of Wicca. So with that being said, let's move on. Now within the practice of Draconic Wicca, something that we do consider still a part of Draconic Wicca is the belief in a god and a goddess, okay? And we're not going to perform rituals the same way that they are like traditionally in Gardnerian Wicca, but we do acknowledge a belief in a god and a goddess for the most part. And even though some people might have different depictions of god and goddess in their craft, like for me, I detailed how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is god and Tiamat is goddess as Allah's creator and Tiamat is all of creation. I made that video like as my last video. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely are going to want to check it out because it's like one of my best videos. I'm so proud of that video. I love it so much. It's just really captures my truth, to be honest. And that is just my perspective. What I need you to understand in your experience with Draconic Wicca is that it is supposed to be for you. It's supposed to shapeshift to meet your needs. It's supposed to provide you with that spirituality, that religious element, or whatever you need it to be. There are atheist Draconic Wiccans that work with the symbolism of god and goddess, and that is a valid practice. There are monotheists that work with Draconic Wicca, like me, that see God as a creator and goddess as creation. And they might even have a different version of that too. You never know unless you ask them. And then there's also, of course, polytheistic Draconic Wiccans who have many beliefs in many gods. And it's beautiful no matter what you choose. You have to understand that this life is given to you as a gift. You have free will to choose, and that's why we love Draconic Draconic Wicca, because it allows you to choose what your practice looks like and make it and build it the way you need it, okay? So the faith in God and Goddess is really important within Draconic Wicca. However you personally identify with that is totally valid, and some people view Goddess and God like as the masculine and feminine energy within all of creation. So it's like two forces, right? It's two polar opposite forces, and when you unite them, you get the secret third thing, okay? So that is just pretty much the overview of the God and Goddess aspect in Draconic Wicca. Now let's move on to the elements, okay? So Draconic Wicca has a huge focus on the elements, okay? We really, really revere nature. And while the Gardnerian version of Draconic Wicca is considered a nature-based religion, and, the Gardnerian version of Wicca, is considered a, nature-based religion, so is Draconic Wicca. And this is in part because most of Draconic Wiccans will actually practice outside. And this is personally my practice. And if they can't practice outside, they're going to be working with the elements, okay? And we focus on the Draconic elements within Draconic Wicca. Now, most commonly, you're going to understand the elements as earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Mwah, beautiful, we love them. And we still work with those in Draconic Wicca, but we work with more or higher faculty elements. Now, most commonly is the system of 9 Draconic elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, spirit, but then we also have light, darkness, maelstrom, and chaos. And those are probably the most common system for Draconic elements. However, in my personal practice, my guardians have taught me a different system with 13 plus 0 elements as they detail for me, so I will tell you those elements now. And they are also the elements we base the hatchling houses off of in the hatchling clan. If you have not joined the hatchling clan yet and you haven't taken your sorting quiz to see what hatchling house you belong in, definitely click the link below and join the hatchling clan. It's free and we would love to have you there. We just added little hatchling emojis for all of the houses. It's so cute, so you're definitely going to want to join us. But these are the elements that we work with, the 13 plus 0 elemental system that we work with in Draconic Wicca, and the way that I will be talking about it here specifically on my channel. But please know that you can also always make your own Draconic elemental system, and you can always identify other elements. It's also personally, I can't emphasize it enough, personally your choice to see what seems like a Draconic element for you. So our system of 13 plus 0 is earth, fire, water, air, spirit. Same 5 fundamentals. Then we have light and darkness, but then we have energy, wood, and metal, okay? And then we have love, and then we have chaos and maelstrom and magic. And those are the ones that we work with specifically in the hatchling clan. And there, of course, are some other elements. Some people would say cosmic or celestial or frost or time or space. Like I said, you can decide whatever elements feel like a Draconic element to you. Explore that. It's absolutely your choice, and that's entirely why Draconic Wicca exists, is for you to customize your path for you. And so we work with these elements, the Draconic elements in Draconic Wicca, and we work with them in nature. And we also like to connect in nature. That's the next part that I really want to emphasize, is that in Draconic Wicca, there is a huge reverence for nature and the cycles of nature. So let's talk about the Sabbaths, the wheel of the year. So some people still follow the wheel of the year depending on who you are, and personally in Draconic Wicca we do the same. We follow the wheel of the year, but with dragons, okay? So that means for all of the Sabbaths, we're going to be working with Sabbath dragons instead. So that means when it is Samhain, we're going to be working with the Samhain dragons. When it's Yule, we're going to be working with the Yule dragons. When it's Ostara, working with Ostara dragons, okay? And every single Espit, okay, as well. So we're going to be working with, sorry, I know the wind is so bad, my guys. I'm so sorry. So I know that all the different phases of the moon, right? So a full moon dragon, a dark moon dragon, an eclipse dragon, those are also part of Espit dragons, okay? At least in the Draconic Wicca kind of ideal, right? So Sabbaths are solar holidays, right? This is where we celebrate seasonal equinoxes and solstices, or we celebrate major solar holidays. For example, Beltane is considered a major solar holiday, but it's not a solstice or equinox. And that's the same thing with Samhain, right? Samhain is considered a major holiday, but it's not the solstice or equinox, okay? But all of these Sabbaths which is Imbolc, Ostara, we have Beltane, we have Lammas, we have Litha, we have Mabon, we have Samhain and Yule. I believe I got all of them. Please let me know if I got them wrong. I did do that off the top of my head. Some people celebrate Ludnasta instead, so there is that as well. Some people call the summer solstice festival midsummer, so there's that as well. And some people call Yule midwinter as well, so just trying to like get all of that there. And every single Draconic Wiccan is going to engage with the Sabbaths differently, but the thing that's going to make them different from a regular Wiccan is the fact that they engage with the Draconic spirits or the Draconic energies or the different types of dragons that are correlated to that type of or that season of the year. And we observe these different seasonal cycles as a way to honor the progression of nature. It's a beautiful, beautiful world that we live in with all of the wonderful progression of nature. And after we get into the element, let's get into one of the biggest key points here within Draconic Wicca is the types of dragons that we work with. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the types of dragons, I posted a video today on my second channel that's all about the limitless nature of dragon types. And you definitely won't want to miss that one because it is a deep dive into what it means emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically for you, depending on what types of dragons you work with. But in Draconic Wicca, we work with any and all types of dragons we can conceive with and connect with, and some people are creating their own types of dragons just by mashing words together, and it's beautiful. And the wind is really bad. I'm so sorry. I'm being blown away. I'm blowing away. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to like protect this camera. Sorry, from the wind. The wind is bad. Oh my goodness. So inshallah, you can hear me. Inshallah. But I digress. All right. So moving along, my darlings, let's talk about the deities. I know we talked a little bit about god and goddess. I don't know how I missed the dragon deities part of that, but like some Draconic Wiccans will simply work with like actual dragon gods and goddesses. For example, the most common deity that Draconic Wiccans will work with is Tiamat, the dragon mother goddess. And most Draconic Wiccans that I have met work with Apsu and Tiamat as god and goddess. If you don't know who Apsu is, he is basically the freshwater counterpart to Tiamat in the Mesopotamian myth, and they gave birth to pretty much all of the creation together and all of the gods. And so that is probably the most common version of Draconic Wicca that people will follow in terms of dragon deities. But you can work with any dragon deities within Draconic Wicca. That means you can work with Jormungandr, you can work with Nidhogger, you can work with Apep, you can work with Leviathan. You can even work with like obscure ones like a Fulak. You can work with, Shinlong. You can work with Ryujin. Like, there's so many different deities for you to study. And in Draconic Wicca, it's about understanding how all of those dragons from all across the world kind of are like the universal Draconic pantheon that we follow. There is no official Draconic pantheon, and to call like all of these dragons like their own cultural pantheon is just inaccurate and cultural appropriative. The reason why we call it the Draconic pantheon is because it is all of the dragons throughout the world and how their themes are similar, how they differ, and how the worship and, either fear or beliefs surrounded those dragons. So that is another huge part of Draconic Wicca. Now let's move into the magic part of it. So the part that people probably get attracted to Draconic Wicca the most is the dragon magic aspect of it. And most Wiccans are going to probably just like practice regular witchcraft or a certain type of witchcraft for them, right? But as Draconic Wiccans, what we do is we practice dragon magic. And dragon magic looks different for everybody. Some people, kind of follow it intuitively. Some people work with elemental dragon guardians. Some people work with dragon rulers. Some people make up their own pantheons. Some people literally just study mythology. Some people make it into like an alchemical way. Like, it really just depends what their own flavor of magic is. But fundamentally speaking, dragon magic is very simple in the sense that it's kind of like three things, right? First of all, dragon magic is the magic that is bestowed to us by dragons to charge our spells. So it's like their dragon power that they give us to our spells that makes it dragon magic, because a spell is only a spell and magic is only magic unless you have dragons, right? So that's like the first type. The second type of dragon magic is the magic that the dragons teach you, okay? It is an arcane art that you will only learn from these dragons, and that is a very sacred practice. The wind is bad again. That you should consider, right? Very sacred craft that you should consider. Let's see if I sit this way if the wind won't be as bad, okay? But then there's also dragon magic. Some people consider it the magic produced by dragon souls or dragonkin. So it really just depends what your perspective is. And again, there's really no right or wrong answer. You know, like the dragon is so subjective. You get to decide what it is. You get to choose like how it shows up for you and how you believe in them. And that is what makes the draconic like Wiccan path so special, is because you get to decide, right? You get to decide what you believe in and you get to structure your path. And then with the dragon magic part of it comes ritual. And that is a huge thing that is very important to Draconic Wiccans, is their Draconic Wiccan ritual. And originally in my practice of Draconic Wicca, I would take Gardnerian Wicca and then I would take Gardnerian Wicca and then I would add dragons to it. That's what I did as a kid, right? Using the DJ Conway books, and then I shared my videos on that, and then like they went super viral, and now like that's what people pretty much think Draconic Wicca is, which honor and a privilege. Thank you guys so much for supporting my content. I would be nothing without your guys' support, really. Like I genuinely am so grateful for you choosing to spend some of your day with me today. But in those videos, I'm so sorry, girl, I got it wrong. Okay, I know, it's really sad. But we don't do Gardnerian rituals in Draconic Wicca, okay? It's really not what we do anymore. It's cultural appropriative, it is disrespectful, and so hella whitewashed, and we don't need that, okay? So when it comes to rituals within Draconic Wicca, we like to take an approach where we create a sacred circle, we call upon our guardians, and we dance with the dragons. And this is what I teach within the Hatchling clan, and I teach to my students and my clients, and what I come on here and teach now on my channel. And it is my number one tip. If you haven't seen my video about like my number one tip of connecting with dragons, that is absolutely my number one tip for connecting with dragons, is dancing with them. You might think it's crazy, but I'm telling you, it's a good idea, okay? So that is kind of like how you need to kind of figure out your own thing. And like what I really recommend people do within their ritual is absolutely cast a circle and absolutely call on, you know, God and Goddess and the elemental dragons, however you see them, and work with them. And then also, it's a very intuitively guided thing. You could do a, you know, basic ritual where you cast a circle, you call upon your God and Goddess, you call upon the elemental guardians, you know, you do your divination, you do your spell work, you do your offerings, you do all of that, then you dance with your dragons, you close your circle, and you're good. That is a really basic Draconic Wiccan ritual, okay? And if you guys would like a Draconic Wiccan ritual tutorial for beginners, let me know and I will absolutely make you one, okay? No problem. And next we're going to get into probably arguably the most important part of this practice, and that is finding your dragons, okay? So these are going to be the different types of relationships you'll have with the dragons along the path of Draconic Wicca, and some will like utilize these dragon relationships in like any dragon path, but we're just going to cover this for Draconic Wicca in today's video because I think it's really important. So first and foremost, when you are practicing Draconic Wicca, before you do really anything else, it's really important for you to study your dragons, study dragon mythology, and try and make a connection with a dragon guardian. If you have not established a connection to a dragon guardian, that is the absolute most important first step. And like I said, I have a video called like my number one like tip for connecting with your dragons. Definitely check out that video if you want to connect with dragons. And also don't forget to join the Hatchling clan if you have any questions, and ask us all your questions, because like we are totally there for you. It's free, and we're definitely down to help you if you have any questions on like how Draconic Wicca like works for you, right? So finding your dragon guardian is so quintessential, and the first one you meet will likely be your primary guardian for the majority of your practice, if not your entire practice, your whole life. But that is not the case for everyone, and that's totally okay. Sometimes dragon guardians do what I like to call shifts, right? It's like team shifts, right? So it'll be one team and a certain part of your path, and then it'll change again, and then it'll change again, and it's just kind of some dragons come and go, but some never leave you, right? And we like to call our first primary dragon guardian Montey, out of respect. It's a term of respect. You don't have to use it if you don't resonate with it. You can give them a nickname, or you can use one that they give you, or you can just call them my dragon guardian. Whatever feels comfortable for you is what you should do, or whatever you're recommended to do by your guardian is what you should follow. But then after you meet your primary dragon guardian, you're going to start encountering other dragons that will be considered dragon guides. Dragon guides are dragons that maybe not necessarily are around you all the time, but during certain studies or certain journeys or certain dreams or certain spells, they might come to help guide you within a ritual or a meditation, right? But then you have what's called a keeper of magic as well, which are also known as co-magician dragons. These dragons are going to be primarily to help you with learning different types of dragon magic. Sometimes these co-magician dragons or dragon keepers of magic, these dragons, they're going to basically help you learn types of magic that you might struggle with or that you're supposed to specialize in, usually, and in my experience and in many of the hatchlings' experience, but it can be different for you. Many of these co-magician dragons or keepers of magic are actually earned through completing dragon trials, and a dragon trial is essentially a test that the dragons put you through. I have a video on dragon trials if you would like to learn more. But the more dragons that you connect with, you're slowly going to build your own dragon spirit clan, which is what I have also made a video on if you haven't seen it as well. It just talks about having a spirit team of dragon guides, okay? Or just dragon spirit guides, right? So those are the three main pillars of what kind of dragons you can have, but they're not the only ones, right? You can have landlocked dragons, so the dragon spirits of the land. So the dragon, excuse me, you're very loud, sir. Very, very loud, sir. Way out there, very, very loud. But if you see out there, this mountain here, I work with the dragon guardian of this mountain, but they're landlocked. So when I'm not here at home, I'm not able to really connect with them, right? I'm only able to connect with them when I'm in their space or in their land. And another way that I could describe this is when I went to Canada, I connected with the dragon guardian of Niagara Falls. And when you are a Draconic Wiccan, you see any sort of nature spirit as a dragon guardian of that particular space. It's just the eyes of the dragon, if you will. And you also have ancestor dragons. Some are inherited through family bloodlines. Some of them are the dragons of your cultural heritage. So for example, I come from Wales, so the red dragon on the Welsh flag would be considered an ancestor dragon by some people, right? And you also have dragon egregores, which are dragons that you make, but that is a little bit getting ahead of myself. I'm just trying to touch upon a couple different versions of what dragon relationships are within Draconic Wicca, but I pretty much just wanted to cover those main key factors. And then we have primary dragon guardians and you have dragon guardians. The primary dragon guardians are the ones that are there with you every day, the ones that are going to be usually the first ones that you've met, though not always. And they're going to be the ones that you are essentially the most connected with. Wow, you're so loud, you're so annoying, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, guys. This world is so dramatic. I don't even know what to say anymore. But I digress. But basically all I was trying to say is that primary dragon guardians are usually the ones that are always there, always present, and are the key focus of your craft. And then you have dragon guardians, which are, for the most part, people really never meet them. Though some people's experiences may differ, right? But they're primarily for protection and keeping you safe, and sometimes they won't even ever introduce themselves to you. They're just there, and they're there because you feel them. You feel their giant, very protective presence, and they may never show you their face. They'll definitely never give you a name sometimes, but sometimes they will. So it just depends on each dragon and each practitioner and their relationship with each other. And that kind of leads me to my final conclusion. You can be an atheist, you can be a monotheist, you can be a polytheist, you can be an omnist, you can be an animist, you can be anything, you can be agnostic, you can be anything and still be a Draconic Wiccan. The path is yours to follow and create. It's how you want to express Draconic and Wicca etymologically from those root words in your practice, how that fits for you, okay? You can literally take this video and be like, bleh, I don't want it, I don't like it, bye-bye, I'm not gonna follow it, okay? Okay, Miss DragonFaether, I'm not gonna follow your version, okay? Yeah, dude, bestie, I love it. Tell me what version you follow in the comments. I would love to hear how your path differs from what I discussed in today's video. And that's really all I had to say for what is Draconic Wicca. If I missed anything, I will definitely be making a part 2 follow-up for this one, or if I like think of it while I'm editing, I'll like edit in a clip, but I'm pretty sure I covered everything. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys like this little update version of what is Draconic Wicca, because I literally have not made a video about this in so long, and my videos about what Draconic Wicca are just really old and like super outdated, so I just kind of wanted to refresh the topic, okay, my loves? And I really hope that this version can help you. If you have any questions, don't be shy, leave them down below, and I will definitely answer your questions, or join the Hatchling Clan Discord server and feel free to chat with us. We have a Draconic Wicca classroom that is free for you to attend and learn about Draconic Wicca if that's something that you like to do. And if not, if you didn't miss my second channel, again, don't forget to check out the types of dragons and their limitless nature over on my second channel today. It's really good. See Siren Confirmation. Woo woo. You need to check it out. Woo woo. It's the sound of the dragons. Woo woo. It's the sound of the dragons. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Okay, sorry. Way too hyped about Draconic Wicca today. Okay, but anyway, thank you guys so much for spending some of your time with me today. And if you're new here, assalamu alaikum, merry meet, and welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. My name is Azura DragonFaether, the Draconic Priestess, and I've been working with dragons for nearly 30 years. And now I've been working with magic for way too long and all of that jazz. All right, so if you're interested in learning more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we would love to have you part of the Hatchling Clan. But I will see you guys very soon. Don't be afraid to turn out the lights and go inside, seeking your inner shadows to become the light in your own darkness. I will see you in the Hatchling Clan. But until next time, stay giddy and cheeky and freaky. Oh, okay. Good office. Blessed be. Amen. And please follow me so I don't get lost, even though it feels like I am sometimes. Okay, bye! Love you!